the bowels of One Half Radio Plaza at Life Media Studios.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Real Country Radio.
Congratulations, Detroit. You can be thoroughly ashamed of yourself. The homicide toll has reached a nice even 750. Details on the latest leveling from Police Sergeant.
Coming up now, we're going to start off the set with...
In the morning.
Bucketless Tigers could use this guy's talent.
Have you had time to get ready?
I don't waste any time getting ready. I stay ready.
Good evening, friends, and welcome back to another Sidetrack tonight. It's a bit of a different show. We're going to get into the weeds on some things that have affected a lot of companies across the country, and we're going to focus in on one of them, a marketing partner of ours, Diesel Freak, and what it means to have engaged in the emissions game with vehicles. That's what it is, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I can't sugarcoat any of it because it's real, and this is where we're at. I want to welcome to our show Wade LaLone from Diesel Freak. And Wade, you guys, you and I have been friends for like 15 years. I've known you for a long time, and you've always been behind everything we wanted to do here. And so I've never been more happy to offer the stage to you. And I think what I want to do is do it in a linear way, kind of tell your story, who you guys are, how you got here, and then what happened with the EPA and the enforcement standard for the Clean Air Act.
Sure.
So let's start real early. Let's go way back. Let's go back to Gara. It would have been like 2011 or some shit. I knew of you before then, but the first night I actually met you,
damn, you guys.
That was a night where I was a fucking mess, because I was in the midst of my first divorce, and you and Tony Burkhardt kind of just calmed me the hell down and said, like, go over there and just turn the mic on and do what you do. It'll be all right. And that's where our friendship started.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a night. I remember it well, and I couldn't have got here without you guys that night. It was something I needed in its time. And back then you had the black tie affair, Duramax truck. It was back in the days of stuff being real simple. Life was easy.
Yeah.
And that's where it came from.
Yep, exactly.
So how did it progress for what you guys did?
Well, at the time, hell, I had a trucking company of my own going, fleet of trucks and drivers. And you just mentioned you were going through a divorce. That happened a couple years later to me. I got divorced. My give a shit kind of went out the window. My brother had Diesel Freak going. And of course, we'd always use my trucks for some testing and doing different things and playing with tuning and having a good time. And he had some employee trouble from time to time. That's a whole nother story that we don't have to get into. But so I sold off my fleet, long story short, and moved north, went to work with him. And I've been working with him ever since 2013, 2014 era. And we just kept playing with trucks. It's all we've done. We grew up. I mean, shit, the trucks were our daycare. That was our family background, is trucking. So anyhow, we've just been doing that. Well, as missions come tighter into play, they were there throughout the 2000s, but they got worse, more stricter, 2011 and newer, 2010, 11 and newer, In the period of 2011 to 2014, them trucks were not ready for it. So they really had a lot of issues.
And we're not talking pickups.
No, I'm talking semi truck.
Yeah. So for those who are used to this story, they're used to the story from from the pickup side, the Duramax Cummins Power Stroke side.
Yep.
You are not from that side. You are from the Class 7, Class 8 world, the semi world.
Yeah. Yeah, I was playing with pickups. I had to pick up. Tony's that guy, great guy. He's cost me a shit ton of money because every time I'd go to a pull, he'd beat me just a little bit. Well, if you did this, if you do that. So we just kept progressing. But, but I was in the trucking world, Class 8 trucks. And that's where we was working in the shop all the time on the trucks. Well, like I say, these problems just progressed, and that's what I just told the judge last Friday. This business evolved. We didn't go out searching, telling everybody, hey, you need to do this to your truck. You need to delete it. You got to do this. No, the problems kind of evolved because it was the only solution for a while.
Yeah.
We had customers that they own one truck, owner operator, maybe a small fleet. They can't have a 30-day downtime. They can't wait weeks on end for parts. And it was, they need a paycheck every Friday, just like we do, everybody else does. And when that truck's not working, then they're not getting paid. So just kind of progressed further and further. And of course, we've always been into racing and pulling. So it was, of course, see what you could do with them. But the whole intention, I don't think, is what they portray. That wasn't our goal, was to just delete every truck on the market. You know what I mean?
No, it was never about the off-road stuff. You guys did that, of course, but
right.
That was never the hallmark. It was about addressing an issue for these guys who are making a living during the 2010 to, I don't know, I guess I'll say 2017, and you can correct me on the dates. There was an era there where the requirements on a vehicle far outstripped what their capabilities were, and I think there's a parallel to that now with this mandate for full electric. That there's not the infrastructure to support that again. So this is history repeating itself. You guys were addressing something in the market that said, this is hindering our vehicles. They're not performing the way that they should. And it's fair to say you didn't know you were contraventing anything because the act hadn't existed yet.
Not to the extent of enforcement. The Clean Air Act has been there for a long time. 2011 to 2014 was the first series of DEF requirements on the Class 8 trucks. And that's what the manufacturers weren't prepared for. I don't think they tested a long time. So there was just an onslaught of issues. And they progressively got better. 2018, 2017, 2018, that's like the manufacturers started getting a lot of this shit figured out. We were seeing a lot less trouble. But now you got a realm of guys that had these earlier trucks that got deleted. They had a better mileage, they had better power, they had all these other benefits that they wanted anyway. So as they got the newer trucks, it was just automatic, let's delete it. Because they didn't want these future shop issues that they foreseen coming. They wanted the benefits of the power and the mileage and the longevity of the engines that deleting can do. And then it wasn't until about 2017, 2018 when the enforcement really started coming into play. I don't remember what year on the pickup side you started seeing some of these earlier shops start getting targeted. I want to 2016 maybe, because we would hear rumor, hey, the EPA just cracked down on these guys and they got a fine. Oh, okay. Well, for what? And it was just always really unknown.
Before we get into the linearity of that, because you and we talked about this the earlier tonight. Before we get into the linearity of that, we were circa, let's say 2016 when this started. Is that fair to say when it began?
It's probably when it really got going. Yep.
The science and the engineering at 2016 versus what's available in 2024 are two different things. And so 2016 emissions on componentry was, I'll say it, and you don't have to agree with me. It was flat garbage versus what's now 2024. It seems like it actually works.
I would agree with you. I mean, things have evolved. Technology's gotten better. The issues have been, not all the issues have been found, but many issues were found and were worked upon.
So you are, in a sense, prosecuted on an outcome that didn't exist yet.
Yeah, fixing something that's, not broke.
Yeah. That's the frustration that creeps in about this whole scenario for you guys, and for others. It's not just you. There's others that are confronted with this same problem in their business. There's no resolution or reconciliation at this point, right?
No. Mm-mm. No, they don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. So again, we're getting too far ahead of the horse. I want to keep the linearity of it, but as we go through, so we're at late 20 teens where the OEMs are required to have this. It doesn't really do what they want it to do. And by they, I don't mean the OEMs, because I think within their engineering departments, they would agree this was not what was successful or what worked. And there are myriad opportunities to prove that power levels could be increased and efficiency levels could be increased, where we could meet and exceed the environmental requirements for an engine. And some of your early work did actually pass some of the most stringent stuff that was out there.
Yeah, short story to touch base on that. It was probably 2015, 2016 in there. Large fleet, runs California and back, hauling produce. Truck's got to be on the move, and he had them breaking down. He brought his own protote wrecker. He was going out and taking good trucks and picking up bad trucks because in the shops, couldn't keep up time wise. So a couple of them trucks got emissions removed, run into California, go into the carb check station, pass, tailpipe, everything's clean. He did that for quite a while. Had several trucks passing. The only trouble he would ever have is if they pulled it around into a full inspection bay to go underneath and look at things, and they want to open the hood, and then they would sit back and go, whoa, something's changed. That doesn't look stock. Other than that, the truck was passing their test results at the time. They didn't have no trouble with it. So where am I to sit back and, the goal wasn't to go out and roll coal, wasn't to go out and put on a show. It wasn't to go be an outlaw. It was to make the truck run.
Make the machine do what it was supposed to do in an efficient way. You're going down the road, hauling whatever the hell you're hauling. Doesn't matter, 60,000 pounds, or here in Michigan we get stupid, but 60,000 pounds or whatever it is, and you rolling at 8 miles per gallon, and we can show you a way to do it at 9.5. Let's be conservative. 9.5.
Charles, you got to do a little research. These trucks are getting 5 miles a gallon.
Okay, so even that. So yeah. now we're doing something where we're making a delta difference, but we're doing it in a way that's against what somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about wrote a rule against.
Yeah,
And didn't do the homework to figure out how to make it better. They just said we got to do this.
how many gallons of diesel fuel do we save with a truck getting 6 miles a gallon versus 5 miles a gallon? Times how many across the country daily?
That's the delta that we're looking at, and people don't realize. Maybe our viewers maybe come from the diesel pickup world, the semi world. Take your efficiency and go multiply it. And I think there's people who do understand it and that are in that world as well. They have got one foot in each side. And
well, I dabbled in we had guys, hot shots, camper haulers, car haulers. They're driving F350s, 3500s, 1-ton pickup. They were customers.
Yep. It's a different thing. So at the time that this is all going on, there's when did the Clean Air Act that I think I've got it on one of my phones. That came in. That was announced what 2018, 19? And they chose to make it retroactive.
Well, it started back in the early 70s.
That's when they made it retroactive back to, but that isn't when this enforcement started.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember when the first time I heard of even, I don't care if it's a pickup, truck shop or anything. 2016 maybe? Hey, yeah. Some guys got in some trouble. What kind of trouble? Well, they paid a big fine. You never heard it from the horse's mouth. It was always rumor.
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt. So actually that brings to mind something. I want to go through for you linearity, what that was like. When did you first find out that there was something there? And then what did your life become? Because you were under some legit serious surveillance to the point where you wondered what your own personal safety was.
Yeah. And I mean, so just to fast forward a little bit, November 2nd, 2018, we went to work. I don't know, it was mid-morning. And all of a sudden we get a phone call. You guys need to come up front right away. Well, we walk out of the shop up front and we got about 30 officers surrounding the building, EPA agents standing at the counter. Everybody's wearing bulletproof vests, badges out, guns on. Basically freeze. It's like we were cooking meth in the back room. It was like, what the fuck's going on? And they had a warrant, signed from a federal judge to come seize and inspect. So we had a couple guys went out the back door. They were like, what the hell? And they tried to take off. Fucking cops were standing there, grab them by the elbow, bring them right back up front. Come on, guys. We're all here. And they basically said that we could leave if we wanted to, but we couldn't come back until they had left. So most everybody left. My brother and I and a couple others stayed and tried to talk with them, any information they needed, but also, a couple of the guys wanted to interview me right away. And I said, I don't know if you guys watch a lot of TV. I just got done watching The Making of a Murder on Netflix. And I said, I don't know if I want to, do I need an attorney? I said, I don't know if I want to say the right thing or the wrong thing. I said, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, we're done. They wouldn't speak to me any further. They took my phone, copy it. They was grabbing computers and copying hard drives, and they were there. I ended up leaving, and next morning they finally called. They'd been gone. They'd went through the whole building like as if there was a murder scene. Every room had stickers on it labeled exhibit, identification, room A, B, D, all the way through, and they had shit marked like crazy, like it was one big ass crime scene. Which in their eyes it was. And then it really went kind of silent. And the case agent would call every now and then and have a few questions, just really questions that you was like, you already know this. What? Don't play dumb, but like they were just trying to get verification. And honestly, a couple friends of mine, their shops got some investigations. They nothing like we had. They had 1-2 person agents show up, do some investigations, get some information from them, and hand them a fine. Civil case. They got their cases wrapped up. And I'm sitting here going, time's going on. We're not hearing nothing. Getting financials gone through, getting looked at, just all kinds of weird stuff. And then it just felt like it went silent. And then I don't know, it was July 20, 2022, got a letter in the mail, that almost 4 years later that charges are going to be pressed and moving forward. I don't even really remember how that letter was stated. When it showed up, for some reason, they didn't have my home address. They shipped it to my mother's house. And she called me and says, man, I almost threw this away. I thought it was a piece of junk mail. And but she opened it and it was this letter about charges coming forward. So from that point, we contacted an attorney, and then it's been a shitstorm for a year and a half, and we finally just settled everything out last Friday.
Before we get into that part of it, correct me if I'm wrong, and I want to prompt you on something, and maybe I got this incorrect. Let's regress for a second. The EPA is not. It's a bureaucratic arm of the government, but they don't necessarily have the ability to enforce via physical force or armed guards, whatever which they've done with cases like this, not necessarily yours, but it has taken place, and that's a bit of an overreach. But like, they made your life a living hell. Were you not followed in certain circumstances, and where you had to be concerned for your own personal safety? Like, what the hell are they really doing?
Well, it left me for a while wondering if I really could trust whoever I was talking to. They've got me hidden camera interviews, guys coming up talking like you'd be standing in a group at a wherever, truck show, whatever. And all of a sudden they got videotape footage of me, talking, other guys talking, everybody talking. But like, fuck, we're under surveillance a lot that we don't realize. And they got 3-ring binders of papers that they'll sit and, you start arguing your charges or want to talk. There's no talking. Here's our offer, your plea deal. If not, we're going to go back to this binder, and these are all what we can bring forth towards you. Well, fuck, I don't know what all's in that, but I know the evidence they did present is a little bit scary. Shit, there was pictures from in our shop where it's employees only that, I don't think it was our employees. They had evidence, like you would call it, from in the shop that you're sitting there going, how the hell did they get that? I don't know. Did they tie into our own camera system and get footage?
Yeah. So now it becomes how'd you get the search warrant to even see this?
That I do know. That I will say that come from another shop that we were working with.
Okay.
They fired a woman, and she was a disgruntled employee, and she called and made a claim, and that started their investigation. But the way they investigated was quite the investigation.
Went crazy
and I almost feel maybe that was their excuse to get.
That was the trigger.
Right. Because, fuck, a cop can pull you over for anything, tell you that your license plate was out.
Yeah.
That's all it needs is a reason.
Before we get into the legality, so now we've kind of set the stage of how we got up to the prosecution part. I want to open the floor to the rest of you guys and anybody there who wants to ask a question. Like, whatever you guys got, hit Wade with it. It's fine. But then we'll get into the nitty gritty of how it actually proceeded in where we are now, which is not good.
I mean, to me, I never even knew this even existed. I mean, hearing this for the first, like, literally for the first time, I'm like, really? I mean, I work with some diesel shops around here and in New York, and I don't know if that's ever happened around here or not. You know, that's crazy. Like, I'm literally sitting here in disbelief. I'm like, seriously?
I wish it wasn't true.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's the way we were back in the middle teens and late teens when you would hear these stories. It was like bullshit.
yeah. I'm
And
sure half of our audience is probably like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is like legit crap shit, you know?
we're
Like,
instructed.
oh, and like one dude said, is like, it sounds like a TV or show or a movie, but this is real life. Like, they're coming after you for something
Yeah,
that,
they are.
you know,
Yeah, 100%.
unbelievable.
Without any public knowledge or informant of what you might be doing wrong.
Yeah.
You're expected to have read the Clean Air Act. You should
All
know.
7,000 pages of it.
And
Right.
and
There will be a quiz.
the resultant posts that come out about the conviction through various Michigan media outlets don't really contextualize the totality of what was really going on. There's a slant to all of it, and we're here to counteract all of that. That's why I want you here tonight, is to just combat that and talk about the reality. Yes,
Well, yeah.
yes, there was legally was there a violation? Yes. But what's the reality behind it? Because they're not telling that story, and we are.
And it feels good to be here now, because now that the sentencing's done, I'm free to speak.
Yeah.
Anything up till then would be used against me or prove your guiltiness and all this other shit. So I would go on Facebook groups and you see things, you try to combat it a little bit and you just get laughed at and everybody's like, you're full of shit, you're a dumbass. So I just quit. It's like, all right, whatever. You'll learn the hard way.
My big question is, okay, so they're coming after you for doing stuff. What are they trying to eliminate? Are they trying to eliminate somebody like me from rolling coal, going down the road and blowing black smoke? You know, or like you said, you're taking a truck that travels the country and you're getting what, maybe one more or half a gallon more a mile. You're doing good, but you're not.
I think what they're doing, I think what they're trying to eliminate is the man's bank account. I think it's a cash grab.
But
Well, they did
throw
that.
everything in a DPF filter and blow it all out at once.
That's right.
They cash grabbed to Wade, and we can talk about that, but it's what was underneath that they did to him and his brother and some others. It's not.
And I'm sure we're going to get into that, and it's, you know, I'm probably getting off topic because.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you're good, Adam. Yeah, I'll let Wade address what you asked.
Scatter all over the place because my mind's going 100 mile an hour at like, how do you get all this out to everybody? Because it does raise 100 questions. But like last Friday is pretty fresh in my mind. And when you say they just want in your pockets, the Department of Justice prosecutor stood there and told the judge, because I had an opportunity to speak to the judge. Okay. And the judge had asked me, he says, do you understand that what you were doing was wrong? Basically, you got to admit your guilt. And I said, you know what I do now? I said, at the time, I didn't, because I had law enforcement officers walking in uniform wanting me to delete their pickup sitting outside. If an undercover cop is trying to sell me drugs, he doesn't do it in his uniform. And he comes walking in wanting these jobs. And we got our customer list, state vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, municipalities, law officials, government. Hell, Camp Grayling's not far down the road. We've done
Gail Banks, hello?
Yeah.
Who?
Gail Banks, hello?
Oh, yeah, right. Right. I thought you were actually getting them on the line. I thought, fuck me.
No. He won't.
We could try. We could try, Wade, if you want.
He won't take my calls because whatever.
But anyway,
yeah.
my point was standing there in the courtroom. I'd said this to the judge. I finally got the opportunity for the judge to listen to me, and I said a few of those things. And I said, I don't know. And I pointed at the table with the prosecutor and all them sitting there from the DOJ. I said, I don't know if they even understand what a vehicle looks like going down the road, deleted, what it sounds like. I said, the lack of public knowledge of these crimes is what sucks. I said, just on my way down here through Grand Rapids, I had a deleted pickup pass me rolling coal. So I said, I know, and they don't have a clue what it is. Well, a little bit later, when she got the chance to stand up and talk, she says, we don't have the time to do the public knowledge. She said our public knowledge is by imposing heavy fines for these companies and enforcing it to stop. And I'm thinking, yeah,
that is the tail wagging the dog if I've ever heard it. That is bullshit.
Let's make
that again. Say that again.
Yeah, make everybody a fucking criminal and empty your pocketbook so that we can teach everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming from,
because I even told the judge, I said, I grew up in school in the 80s. I said, there was the DARE program. Don't drink and drive. I drive down the highway to this day. There's wear your seatbelt. There's fucking don't drink and drive billboards out there and all sorts of these things. Never anywhere does it say don't knock out an exhaust filter.
Yeah. Cody, what was your question?
So 2 parts. One interesting thing is from the ag side, with all the DEF emissions, farmers are now adding sulfur into their fields that they've never had to add in before due to the DEF that's having to be added. They're having to pour it onto the fields because it's sulfur, it's lacking that much sulfur. And they've, years past have never had to do that. So that's an issue type of thing for them guys. The interesting thing that I found is John Deere released their new 9RX
yesterday.
830 yesterday. It's over 700 horsepower and does not take DEF. So my question would be, if it's over 700 horsepower, what's at that point? Could you have a vehicle that is, deleted type of thing that's over 700 horsepower? Does that get underneath the laws because it's over that 700 horsepower threshold?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I know a lot of guys would try to skirt around certain things by saying, well, it's farm use. I use it on the farm. It's not even going to be on the road. But
racetrack use.
That's if it was born with an emissions stamp, it's liable. You can't. I don't care if it's never going to hit the road. If it's got an emissions stamp on it. I've heard rumors of DEF being an issue out in California and that there's talks of trying to maybe do away with it. I don't know if it's a horsepower thing or an engine operation calibration change, things a way to make things run cleaner, that it's not needed. I'm not that smart of a guy to really know. It's like I say, those are rumors that I've heard, so I don't know.
Well, and from what I know, all the DEF is doing is bringing in the urea to burn it in a catalyst before it goes out the tailpipe to burn the soot out of it before it hits the last of the tailpipe. It's just like
is
a
that train
cycle.
Who's going behind your house right now that we hear doing what you are talking about?
Right. Exactly.
No, it's been deleted.
But that's the primary reason for that is it's just burning it. So when you're adding that in there you look back at Dodge in 2012 to 2013 or 2010 to 2013, they bought credits to extend the life of, because they didn't have a DEF system until 2013, late 2013, and they bought credits or used credits, however that plays out, to get to that point. So they were the last ones to the DEF system, and they added it, And it actually helped them because they had to choke them back so bad. It actually helped them for the fuel mileage and how they ran. But it just, I don't know. It's concerning to me because I'm in the ag community a lot type of thing. I live in a rural area, and the farmers, like I said, they've never put that much sulfur on it. And then on top of that, like what it's doing to the engines and the life cycles, because we're not getting the life out of these engines that we used to. You know, because it's cutting them back, it's choking them down, and then you're adding urea in there. You have a plastic jug type of thing. I mean, it's for the Clean Air Act. It's adding all that stuff back in there, and you have a plastic jug when you're said and done, and it's corrosive and all that. So, it's frustrating because again, you know, I think somebody said before, there's a lot of lawmakers that don't understand what's going on, and they're just, oh, we're polluting the world and we're climate change and this and that, and they don't sit back. I see it on a whole. I'm fighting issues in Iowa right now on some other stuff type of thing that the lawmakers don't understand what the adverse effects of all this are. And I think
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I've had last week and this week I've had meetings with legal teams that you probably would never think about, but had meetings with legal teams because it's a big deal. But at the aspect of the lawmakers don't understand any portion of this, and they're just, yep, sounds good. We should, you know, and someone talks a good talk, but it's, you know, standing up to educate them on a level that they can understand of why it's harmful.
Well, you know, like I said in the courtroom when I pointed out a pickup that had passed me, I said, I don't even know when these guys are driving down the highway and a vehicle does that going past them, do they even know what's done to that vehicle? I don't think they have a clue. When they were in our shop doing investigations and looking at computers, they're asking us questions like, what's this? I'm thinking, what do you mean you don't?
That's QuickBooks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's Pornhub. And back to my story about them.
Warn me next time.
Them trucks that were going into California, he's a large fleet owner. He's got like 300 trucks. And he was a little irritated that he's paying $12,000 extra an engine at the time on these trucks to have emissions equipment. And then he was going into California showing that he didn't need that extra $12,000. So he starts calling Cummins and working his way up the chain trying to get an answer. Who says this has to be on the engine? Why do we have to have it? And he could never get an answer. They don't know either. They're handed parts and told to make them work. Just last month, a friend of mine down by Miami, he's going past the port dock and he sees a fleet of white day cab trucks sitting out there. And he stops and he's, where the hell are these all going? And he starts looking them over. Not a stitch of emissions on them. He opens the hood, clean as a whistle. They're all going to South America.
Of course they are.
Our Cummins still knows how to build them engines without all the shit on
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of that too. You know, I mean,
yeah, it's not just Cummins.
I remember. So I sold construction equipment. I remember some of the lines took a 25% increase in the price just to add emissions onto them to be compliant. But yet all the other ones are going overseas, down south, wherever, not a lick on them.
It gets me going irritated of you know, I love America, but son of a bitch, why do we have to be the police and the ones that save the world? My God, what they're choking us down. They want us to be the police and they want us to be the ones that save the world and save the planet, but they're fucking forcing us right out of it.
So here's the thing where I want to go to next. I think the conversation has evolved to this point. So the company gets a massive civil fine, $750,000. That is in line with what we've seen others in your industry pay. The personal side is that you and your brother have small dollar amount fines to pay, which are acceptable, and that's not a big deal. But now you're felons, which is new. That's a new thing. So now you can't own a gun to go get after what's behind you.
Right.
There's consequences that come with this that are massive, and for what you've done as a company are tremendously unfair. This is the part where I really get pissed off and I need to shut up because I'm going to say something. But to be a felon for making a truck fucking better than what it was in the time it was designed is bullshit. And this is the fate that has befallen our partner Wade and Diesel Freak and many others within this industry. And this is not right. It's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's, you and I talked earlier, and I said, when I sit back, I want to tell people why to stop doing.
Yeah.
And when I sit and say, I got a fine, my personal fine's $4,000 and I got 12 months probation. Let's go back though. I was charged with up to 5 years imprisonment and $250,000 fine personally because of my past history and my scorecard with the government and never being a criminal, never being, you know,
why the fuck does anybody have a scorecard with the government? Let's start there.
You do.
Yeah, you do. You do. And it's bullshit.
So because of my stellar past 45 years, other than some speeding tickets and a little probation from being a teenager, yeah, $4,000 fine. I'm like, fuck, where do I write the check? 12 months probation, done. But you're a felon. They will not change it. They will not reduce it to a misdemeanor because they claim that the previous fines and civil punishments that they put out there haven't been enough to get guys to stop doing it. So they're making everybody a criminal. And that comes right down from the chain of command of our fucking Biden administration. That's why prior people were just getting civil cases. Then we changed administrations in this country. And COVID got over with and everybody was able to get back out and hit the street. And they said, make it criminal and money. I mean, like, because the business side of it, my brother and I went through the court Friday and our cases were done. And then it was on to the business case. And he, you know, you can't put a business in jail. You can put them on probation. I don't know really what that does for a business. So for a business wise, all you can really do is fine the shit out of it. And that's what he went for, the full amount. We had a 4-hour discussion in there with the judge, inability to pay. I mean, you think about it, you got a 5-year window, that's $12,000 a month that they want out of your pocket. Well, a lot of businesses don't even make $12,000 a month profit, let alone give it to the fucking government. And then that's still counted as income. You pay tax on that as well. So this $750,000 fine is going to wind up being about $1 million.
Ouch.
No.
So this is where
it comes down. That's all they want. Fucking, I say all they want is money, but they also want to take our guns. They don't like them. So this is an easy way for them to do it. Just get a bit of a fine and they're a fucking felon.
Yep.
I don't like to make this show about, I don't like to make this show about sex. I don't like to make this show about politics. I don't make this show about religion. But this is a real way where stuff has consequences. If you're not a member of PRI, you need to be.
Amen.
Spend the 50 fucking bucks.
Absolutely.
Yep. And renew it.
And renew it.
Every single year.
Every single year.
This is your tax for being a gearhead.
That will get you into SEMA. Understand that elections have consequences. This is the world we're living in, where a guy who has a solution for something good and is now a criminal. I'm sorry, Wade. I don't want to talk. I don't want to put that appellation on you. But he's a criminal in the eyes of the United States government. It's fucking bullshit. this is a fucked up system, and it's got to get addressed. Elections have consequences. You've got an opportunity going forward for the rest of the year to make something different and hopefully address some of this, or put in place an electorate where acts like the RPM Act get attention, because this is just not acceptable that we're trying to do things good for fleet owners, for truck owners, to do better than the OEMs. It's not the OEM's fault. It's not the OEM's fault. They're in the same box. They're fucked in the same place that everybody else is. And we can find a way to do it better. And we're not allowed to. So
let me ask, I mean, talking about the OEMs, let me ask this. Why are the OEMs not fighting back harder on some of this? I mean,
well, they can't.
To the comment on there, people gone, through tea in the harbor for less. Like, if the OEMs just stopped producing,
they're told you got to be electric by 2035 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, White Cummins just fucking rolled over and wrote a check for how much?
1.7 billion.
Right.
Billion.
Because there's no fighting an open checkbook. And if the rules don't fit their needs, they'll change them. I wrote I've lost count of how many emails I have sent out to the NRA, senators, House of Representatives, state, local, federal, crickets. I'm like, I've supported every one of you guys. I'm not afraid to say Jack Bergman. He come in our shop a few years ago when he's a Michigan senator. He was in our shop. I got pictures with him in the showroom. And I'm only calling you out, Jack. It'd be nice if you're listening to this, but you fucking disappoint me when you come in looking for my vote and I give it to you. And then I need help. And I've reached out to your office. I've emailed, called, left voicemails, and I get jack shit. This is where I'm getting pissed off, is where do you come together as a group and ask for help and there's nobody there?
Oh, there's somebody you need to go after.
Yeah.
We can make a difference. There's somebody who can help Wade, and they don't listen.
All of us. There's 8 guys in this whole thing.
All politics is local.
Just our case was eight guys personally and 3 businesses. Which honestly, why some of the others didn't, I don't know how us 8 got drew out of a hat. There was, and then on top of that, we got charged with conspiracy to violate the Clean Air Act. It was conspiracy was the charge. It is, there wasn't a law that we broke, so to say, it was to violate the Clean Air Act. But conspiracy is like,
that's like fucking.
You don't have to do shit to get charged. All we have to do is sit here talking about it right now. We're all conspiring.
Yeah, conspiracy is like that's like mobster shit.
Yeah. Just talking about it. You don't even have to do the job.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wade, can you see the comment on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep that in mind. There's your next t-shirt idea. Get your graphic designer on it. And make them in fat guy sizes. 3X doesn't work. Call Omar the tent maker. Have him make some big ones so I can get one. And the guy who actually submitted this idea, he's a big boy too. Do this. We will be the first 2 people to send money your way for the shirts.
I love it. Make it a death jug you're throwing into the
bingo.
You guys' new shirts with behind this it's awesome, and there's a reason it's offsetting what's going on, but yeah, you hammered it as far as tapping into the zeitgeist of resistance about this. You guys hammered it. And so let's get there. Go to what's www.dieselfreak.com. Is that the place to go?
Yep. And then on the top drop down menus, I think it's under shop and then men's apparel. and it's all the shirts are for the new ones that we got are in the men's apparel.
Get
How
the
have they been
new
selling?
shirts. They're
But I
freaking
just
awesome.
brought one home for Mickey. I mean, they're all men's style T-shirts, but there's women's colors on there. It's kind of exploding a little bit faster than this was just like a thought. My sister-in-law.
Let's
mentioned-
blow these guys up to where they cannot
Hell
keep
yes.
up with production. Blow them up. I want them to be scared how many of the orders they get. Do it. Let's go. Dieselfreak.com. I fought the law and the law won. And what's the other one? The fixing stuff wasn't
Fixing
broken.
stuff that ain't broke.
Just fixing stuff they broke. Get your t-shirts. Let's go. Get in there.
Mhm.
Blow them up.
Also, Neil Doms wants one for tall, fat guys, and I do too. Neil, I am 100% with you.
We have tents with sleeves available.
That is perfect. Perfect. Send
Yeah.
one to Iowa. I will write you the check.
You know Neil, we can't make jokes about circus tent because he'll punch both of us. We'll both be below the ground when he does.
We do have up to actually our clearance racks are usually the smalls and the mediums. We sell all the way up to 5X.
Yeah,
So-
we're not doing clearance rack for this. We're gonna blow it all out.
No.
Let's
No,
go.
I'm saying our following, there's not too many smalls out there.
Chris Wood, thank you for joining us tonight,
We
buddy.
need to find some more smalls that will follow us, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. I'm good being single. Never mind.
I picked up what you're saying, Charles.
Yeah.
Single guys, yeah.
Yeah. That's shitty that you're the one that picked it up.
My big thing though is why I was wanting to be on here, Charles, though, is really, and I appreciate you guys, it's the public awareness. And I'll throw it out there. My email's wade@dieselfreak.com. I mean, if you got any tips or thoughts or whatever to move forward, but my biggest thing is public awareness. So many's just oblivious to what is going on. And I'll see guys in town rolling coal with their pickup. And, you stop at the gas station, I'll say, guys, why you do that right in town? This is what brought all the awareness on. I mean, we got time and place, but not only that, it's just now it's getting to be, do you realize the fucking trouble that you can be in?
Yeah.
They don't know that either.
All
Look at-
because you're
look
having
at,
fun with a clapped out shitbox 7.3.
Yep.
Well, look at
Hey,
Lone Star,
wait a
Lone
minute.
Star, hold on.
Hey, yours isn't clapped out. And it's probably not a shitbox.
I was going to say, look at Lone Star Throwdown. I mean, they Lone Star Throwdown, from what I read, is lost their contract for next year from a truck event in Texas because of all the after meets and parties and racing and burnouts and shit like that.
UCC, you guys are in danger of doing the same shit, and I know where you go to.
Yep.
You guys are in danger of doing the same fucking thing.
It wasn't, from what I read, it wasn't just regular police. It was Homeland Security came in there for that. So, right, and that's the thing is like it's awareness of you don't need to be doing that. So
time and place.
Wasn't that, if we go back a few years ago, wasn't that kind of where Shides Diesel Extravaganza brought?
Yeah.
Like 14, 15, that kind of started this whole shit. Like when they went and hit H&S,
Yep. There's a reason why Diesel Freak I'm sorry, Wade. That was really shitty. There's a reason why SDX got moved to
the middle of nowhere.
The middle of nowhere at Lions Dragway. Well, now Wagler Motorsports Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody in town fucking smoking out.
Like such a dick for doing that. I'm sorry, dude. God, it's gonna. I got personal issues. Sorry.
And now it's gonna live on the internet forever.
No, because I can delete anything I want because I've got that power.
Yeah, but this show is not one that we're gonna let you delete. This one is too important.
Well, he can just like cut it out of the,
Shut up, Cody. Don't give him ideas.
No, that was a fucking asshole.
So I got something here. So I mean, obviously you guys got put up because of the law and stuff like that. So what can you guys do now? Still gonna be running a diesel shop and stuff like that. And how can any of our supporters that are watching right now support you? If you, with what you're doing now.
I know, because it's tough. Like we asked them, hell, 2018 when we got the investigation. I mean, when they were leaving, it was like, what do we do on Monday? And they're like, well, we'd rethink your business plan. And that's all their advice was. And their biggest thing they say is you can't you can't alter, delete, or defeat emissions devices. So that even really makes me question emissions on performance. But
I mean, you're not going to make a fortune selling S&B cold air intakes.
No.
you know what I mean?
No, but we are working on a cold air intake that we're very close to having done. It's not going to be an air intake. It's going to be cold charge air intake that I think is going to be a pretty good game changer for our emissions on stuff. Coming soon. We were hoping to have it done by now. It's been in the testing the last year or so out on some trucks. It's gaining mileage, it's gaining power, and it's not even tuning the truck. It's just an add-on part. So that'll be coming out pretty soon. We're excited for that. We can do, we can
do some product reveals on the show.
Yeah, well, we're not ready to reveal it just yet.
That's okay. We have another show planned when you do.
Right. And we've been doing some of that testing with racing because we still need racing. I mean, and we're tuning. We've got an in-floor chassis dyno. We're tuning trucks. We've added power to them. We're doing the emissions on thing, but we got race trucks coming in. We're building engines every day that, we can go race, truck pulling, the drag racing. Yep,
that's what I was interested in. Is what's the race only part look like for you guys with the chassis dyno?
It's still such a big fucking gray area with semi trucks. Like I know the whole thing right now that SEMA and PRI number working on, like all this whole deal of having VIN numbers on a car that's dedicated to a drag strip. I mean, it's like, where do we draw the line?
Why the fuck does that matter?
Yeah, why does it matter? It's a recreational vehicle, for lack of a better term.
I don't want to talk out of turn, and I'm not going to say where it was verified, but that doesn't matter. When it's race only, that doesn't seem to make a difference.
You wouldn't think.
Yeah, I'm not going to go against you on that one, but
the vehicle was born with the emission certification.
If it was mass
in the cases I'm talking about, they actually weren't. But
I think what Wade you're getting at is if it was mass produced and has a stamp, from that standpoint, that's where they're looking at it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
you're
if
right.
it was ever a street car, if it ever left a dealership lot, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm gonna buy a CNC machine and build a 5-car garage in the back, and one of the bays is gonna be a CNC machine for billet aluminum blocks. It's fine. I'll find a CAD file online somewhere.
Because I mean,
hashtag plausible deniability. Cody doesn't have it anymore. Cheers.
We've got.
We can make this ultra relevant real quick and just go like, anybody see the diesel Cadillac?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you see that comment by the mastermind?
That's what I'm saying. If it's a billet block,
trying not to bring him into this.
Sorry, would have been good to know that earlier.
Motherfucker, Tony, I was trying to stay you
take a shot
from it. And whoever put you up there, I didn't do it. It was somebody else on this show who has editorial abilities. God damn it. I'm trying to.
Nose goes.
Cheers, Tony. Cheers.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if
cheers. Great. Now that we put you up there, motherfucker. Yeah, awesome. Great.
If it's
cheers.
If it's a
awesome.
billet block that's
It's gonna
not
be a phone
mass.
call. I'm deleted from this freaking show. I'm gonna have to answer this.
If it's a billet block that's not mass produced, then at that point it's not VIN numbered, correct? So at that point it'd be fine.
But do you go as far as numbers matching on the vehicle?
Not if it's a tube chassis and stuff like that.
So that was a purpose-built race vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, that's different though. That's
Right. That's
And
different.
that's what worked.
We're taking
Shit, I gotta shut up. Sorry.
no, but it leaves a question. This is where maybe this gets people thinking and going. Like I'm become a big, large fan of the semi-truck drag races, loaded in bobtail uphill. Charles, you're aware of them. You come and announce. We love it.
Yep.
you're kind of good at them too, by the way.
Yeah.
Stop sucking my dick. I'm
Yeah.
good.
I got to get out there someday.
No, I was talking about
gotta
Wade,
get
not you.
Oh.
Oh,
But you know, my truck is a retired truck. I don't work that truck on the highway every day anymore, but it still has a VIN number, still has all these are questions that I don't even know where do you go get an answer, or do you not even raise the red flag? Because I don't
go grind that freaking VIN number off.
well, you know, but
Oh, it's a chassis build.
the thing is we're back to them wanting to stop us from doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we heard from, and you were there up there, what the enforcement level is going to be at Onaway when it comes to the local sheriff, which is ultimately where enforcement devolves to.
That's true.
And he's like, no fucking way. This is awesome. Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
I remember seeing that
Had him
when they made that comment.
I pulled up to the line and I seen him standing there, and I opened the door. I said, fucking whoever was, I forget who was in my passenger seat. I said, get in the back. And I had the sheriff get in the truck. I thought, if this ain't the best damn thing, we're taking him for a ride. Light went green. I let the truck out. The drive shaft left the chat. We sat there and didn't do anything.
So okay, from that aspect, if I build a one-off tube chassis, fiberglass side panels, billet block, daily driver, license, you know, it's a self-built vehicle. Can I drive down the road without emissions?
Let me give you Tom Bailey's phone number.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just devil's advocate here. I mean, like, it's not mass produced. It's not, you know, it's a one-off vehicle. It's no different than somebody going and building a kit car type of thing and going to the courthouse and it's got turn signals, fenders, and shit like that. Is that something like, honestly, you could probably do it for about the same cost as what new trucks cost anyhow. So
I guess we're to extend into your world, Wade, where Cody's going with this would be a glider.
yeah.
They have stopped gliders. You can no longer build a glider.
2017?
Yeah, right.
Last?
Right in there. 2017, 2018, they stopped gliders.
Yeah, that's why the last of them sell for absolutely stupid money when they come up on auction.
Yep.
Did you see that back in December, Wade?
Oh, there's been a few of them.
Yeah, but there haven't been any day cabs that have sold for $350,000.
Oh yeah.
It was a 2017. Had a C15 cat in it at like 600 horse or something, 35,000 miles. It sold at an auction about 2 hours south of me. Unbelievable.
It's like any, I mean, hell, 07s and 08s are bringing half that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if they're well cared for, yeah.
Look at your pickup market. Fuck, we got 03s bringing 25 grand. What the hell are we doing?
Yep.
I sold mine today.
But I think it's back to the point of awareness and getting where do you start a group? Where do you start spreading public knowledge and making everything aware? I don't even know how many guys are not aware about the whole drag racing and the whole sled pulling thing and VIN numbers and purpose-built vehicles. They're just sliding it in. It's all of a sudden one day you're going to wake up and be like, oh, fuck, that's the way it is now.
No, you can't do that anymore. And it's going to come with severe consequences.
Right.
And that's really, really where I wanted to get to with the whole thing is the severity of what you're up against right now. What you can do against it, maybe that's another conversation, maybe another show. We've touched on it a little bit, but understand the severity of the consequence. And like, look, Wade is a friend of mine, a sincere friend of mine, a good guy, a person who tried to help, tried to do right, tried to improve the vehicles like we all want to do. And now you've heard his story, and that doesn't sit well with me. That this is a result of someone who wants to make things better. Something is fucked up in our system that this happens to a good guy, a good person, someone who is conscientious of not only his industry, but of his municipality, his family. He's been a partner of what we do here on Sidetrack for all these years. And now I'm sorry, Wade, I don't mean to.
I can take it.
He's a felon now. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Something's wrong.
You know, and it's not just me, there's my brother and, like I say, 6 other guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them guys, you know, there was 3 other shops involved, but there's mechanics, foremans. It's not just shop owners that got.
It's not just Wade. I mean, his brother Ryan. I mean, I enjoy a friendship with him too.
Yeah,
and
but I'm saying
too. It's fucked up.
Everybody is subject to this punishment. It's not just the shop owner. The guys working in the shop. There's mechanics and foremen and stuff that are also now felons.
Did they actually go after your guys?
Yes.
They went after the guys on your payroll.
Yes.
In the other shops.
Wow.
And the other shops.
Wow.
We're not going to go into the other shops, but yes, felonies went to the other shops. Like these guys can't go hunting. They can't have firearms.
Right. I can't go to Canada. I like the uphill truck drag racing, and that all originated over in Canada. I was going to go last summer, and that all come to an end.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. Like, it's bullshit. All because they took off something that didn't help the truck, and what they did to it made it run better. But because some asshole in Washington who doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground said that it had to be this, versus the reality of building an actual operable machine. You need to really consider, we don't do politics on this show, but we're going to do it tonight. You really need to consider what the people you are voting for know about operating the vehicles that we enjoy. This is our self-interest. This is our ability to engage with the process. Be a member of PRI. Be a member of SEMA. Be engaged with the process when it comes to the RPM Act. Be engaged with what goes on with this bullshit fucking emission standard that is so arbitrary. And we don't need to get super. We've already gotten way in the weeds, but we don't need to get super. This is one area where this show really, I do want to engage with politics. Your vote does matter, and what you're doing and what you believe in and what you engage with and what you spend your money on, it does matter. Be a member of PRI. Be engaged with SEMA. Be engaged with what's going on with this cafe bullshit. Get involved, because it's resulting in guys who are good and friends getting fucked in a way that they don't deserve.
Well, and you don't want to get into politics on this show, but I'm telling you what, politics is getting into everything you're fucking doing.
100%.
I was
Yeah,
never
they
a
don't give a crap.
politics, but and that's what I said. It's they said, oh, there was this scheme and all this shit. No, all we ever did was what the customers wanted, what the fucking needs were, what it took to get the truck fixed, what it took to get you on the road. It was never like a criminal. It wasn't like we were rounding up how to transport cocaine. Holy shit. I mean, but that's how they're treating it. And it's bullshit. And yeah, we're taking the fall. We're not the first ones to take the fall. There's others out there probably going through this process right now, and others that it's going to be coming to. And there's nothing I can do to change. There was no talking, negotiating. They here's your fucking charge. Well, the negotiation was, here's our plea deal that we're going to offer you, or we can go to a jury trial. Here's the other thing that I want to touch base on. A jury's job is, are you guilty or not guilty? Because I've had people say, why didn't you fight it and take it to a jury trial? Get 12 jurors that like trucks, and their job is to fucking determine if you're guilty or not guilty, not what your punishment's going to be. Well, they got enough evidence on me that, yeah, I'm guilty. So there, you're fucked already. And there was no negotiating with, what do you want from me? I mean, we give to the local veterans, we give to the school programs, we give back to all these local things in the community. We try to do what all the customers wanted. You try to be stellar in what you do, and then your government just comes, and when you ask these jurors, hey, need a little help here, they got a job to do. I mean, you're fucked. So the government's really put everybody in this situation into a corner, and they got an open checkbook. It's going to be hard to fight them. They've done their homework well before they come in your door. They already know. So that was my big push now that I'm unfortunately a criminal. There is a good note that I do want to mention, because, it does hinder me in a bad way. I do a lot of hunting, and we took family trips and friends, and we'd go out west, and that's always been a thing. In the state of Michigan, anyways, once I've got my punishment and my fines paid, after a period of time, I can get my Michigan gun rights back. So I still will be able to hunt in Michigan in a few years' time. But that's about the only thing you're going to get back. Other states may vary. I don't know what they are.
Wow.
But there's a lot of concealed gun carriers probably in this group listening in. Once you're a felon, you can't carry a concealed weapon.
Yep.
So there's just a lot of things to think about in there. So far, what I haven't heard of is any end user customer getting in trouble. But you're also starting to hear about these cases of, you can't take your vehicle to certain garages to get worked on. You can't trade it in at the dealership. You can't fucking sell it. So how bad is this need of service really needed? I don't know. The guy's got to start relooking things, or group together and go fight this somehow. I mean, we all know, I follow Corey Willis a little bit. I watched some of his things. And it sounds like that fucking guy has spent a shit ton of money. He's went to DC. I don't know how do you help him? How much further do you go? And is it maybe just a big group needs to get together, but then who do you even go bitch to? I don't have these answers, but I just want to get the awareness out there of what people don't realize is you can be a criminal for knocking out a fucking exhaust filter.
10 million. 10 million is what he told me at PRI.
Yeah.
It's what he spent so far. So
keep supporting him too, because he's fighting.
100%.
Yeah.
He's trying.
We had a nice long chat. Man, I'll be the first to admit I didn't think he was that short, but that Corey is a short fucking dude. Not very tall. But he told me 10 million is what he's put into this so far, and he doesn't continue. I mean, he doesn't foresee slowing down. So
Wow.
Well, hopefully he's got some contacts that that'll get back to him, because the ones I've tried haven't. But if there's I don't know, anywhere a guy can help, I'm that's all I've ever done in my life, is try to help. So if he happens to be listening, Corey, reach out. Hell, I gotta go to DC and bitch slap somebody, let me know. Fuck.
Please get that on video. Please
It's
do.
frustrating because
Please let Sidetrack debut that video.
but
Don't you love social media?
But I get people all the time, fuck them. It's my pickup. I'll do what I want. It's my truck. I'll do what I want. Well, all right. You guys are all those rebel rednecks that are ready to stand up and tell them, fuck them. Let's get together and take the bus and go to DC. I don't know. What do you do?
Maybe don't do it in the first week of January. That's kind of traditionally a bad week for that.
Well, we're past that, so that's fine. We're good now. Maybe make a difference. You got primaries coming. Exercise that.
Ask the questions. I mean, you've got people that are running for office. Ask questions. You have people that are wanting to represent you. Ask the questions where they stand on this stuff, because I mean,
make them represent you.
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't know where they stand, and you're voting for them based on other principles. And if this is something that you should be worried about or should be concerned about and pay attention to, ask them where they stand. It's simple as that.
Michigan primary is already over. I won't tell you what I did, but yeah, you can make a voice.
I said earlier that I sent out all these emails and I'm always trying to contact them. It doesn't stop me. I repeat, and I send the same email or a little different style. I send them to these same people over and over and over again. And that's what I also want the listeners to realize. Look, don't just send one email and think you did your part.
No. Once a week, maybe.
Right.
Maybe twice.
Hammer them.
Become the pain in the ass that they have to either make the physical choice to, I'm going to block my constituent, or they're going to address it.
Yeah. Get involved.
Make them earn your vote.
Yep.
So what are you doing now? Tell me about this rock sore problem. Let's get off of this so all of our blood pressures calm down and everybody stops, being ready to sharpen the pitchforks and light the torches. Tell us what you're doing now with the business.
The rock sore, you mentioned rock sore. That's a diesel powered side by side built by Mahindra, and it was a thing 28 that all this shit kind of come to be. And I got introduced to this vehicle and just fell in love with it. It's a 70s/80s style side by side.
CJ5,
it's like a CJ5 clone, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. They had the patent. They built as many of them Willie style Jeeps in World War II, actually more than Jeep did, because they were already over there. They're based out of India. Great little vehicle. That's evolved into a business. It's like my next little addiction that I call it my addiction. I'm dealing with them every day. I love the little things, and we pimp them out, have a ton of fun with them. The other thing we're doing, trucks. The whole race market is probably where we've been lately with the trucks, clutches, transmission build, engine builds, all that kind of stuff for dedicated race semis. We got the dyno. We do some diagnostics and figuring out, why the truck's got a miss to it and what's going on, and work. We don't do a lot of general repair like we used to. We still do some of it. And then we got a sister store that opened up within the building, Bobcat equipment. We've gotten into, the Bobcat stuff. That's different business name. But it's M32 Enterprises, but it's all in the same building. And so that keeps us busy working on skid steers and excavators and lawnmowers and just kind of not raising a red flag to illegal activity. I don't know. We still go in and grind and work on equipment, but I say no a lot of times on the phone every day with the amount of calls that we get in different jobs that are being sought after. And I do say no a lot, not like I ever used to. They used to be a thing was we never said no. And I've had to keep my tongue tied for a long time up until last Friday. And it's like, okay, now I can talk about it. Now I can fucking be more verbal. When Charles and I talked last weekend after the court date and shit, he's like, what, I said, let's go on and get started. What do we do? So,
yeah, I want to tell your story and, be authentic and just make people know. Something that I want to actually, oh shit. Sorry. There's something that I think is so cool for sled pullers to have as an accessory. I kind of really went super against support vehicles on a prior show, but if you're gonna have one, the Bobcat, the Toolcat all-wheel drive, you need one of these because of the front loader and the capacity in the back. If I could say what's going to be the best thing you could use for a support vehicle in the sport of pulling, this is the thing you want, because you can still push it back up into your hauler and whatever. And damn it,
you can do so much with that. You can put a bucket on it, a broom, a snowblower. Like, oh my god, like those things are endless.
They're
and
fucking awesome. And I'm
you
really
could write
trying
that
to
off.
find a
You
good
could write that
video
off for the farm and still use it in the tractor pulling, or like those things are cool. And you know what? It's a full cab. It comes with a full cab, AC and heat, and it's fantastic.
I think it takes up less space in the hauler than like a crew cab side by side, like a Polaris or whatever. They're shorter,
and they're heavy too. So like
Yep.
they will do some work. So those things are actually really impressive when you look at the specs of what they.
Yeah, one of these is fucking badass, and this is what I want you to get from our partner Diesel Freak, because they're a Bobcat dealer. I want you to get one from them. Here we go.
And while you're at it, buy his shirts.
Yeah, buy the shirts. They're fucking awesome.
I think we got a couple tool cats in stock too.
Bingo. See, there we go.
Get your ass one of these.
That's an old
one.
That.
You can
that
put
is an old one.
You can put all the shit in the back.
That's
all
a
the shit in the back. It doesn't matter what's in the back. Look at that loader. You can push it right up in your hauler.
That's like a prototype, man. That is old school. Like that is probably the oldest toolcat I've ever seen. If I know,
it's probably being sold on like an Alman antique tractor auction. So I mean,
I don't care what it looks like. This is what you're at. This
Bingo.
is you.
And you don't have to put two fat guys in the back of it so you can lift something with that bucket.
Yeah.
This is you. Fuck all this. This is a concept sale. This is not an actual sale. This is concept sale.
And just for the record, this is not at Wade's store.
No, it's not.
We're not like quietly stumping for him here.
Not with this one.
No, we're being.
But on the idea, yeah, we sure as shit are.
Yeah, I mean, we're being quite straightforward when we tell you go buy the man's shirts.
It's even got suicide doors. Look at that thing.
Yeah, suicide door.
Pimp mobile as if I've ever seen one.
You could share the photo of the front of the building that was smeared all over the news that they fucking came and took a picture of.
I saw
No,
that
not
too.
gonna- no,
It's a
not gonna
big
do that.
iron sale.
Not gonna do that.
They God, did they ever make a stink of that? But
seriously, those tool cats are
Hey, you know what?
wicked cool.
No, bad news is good news. Go now. You know where to go to get your Bobcat. So go.
it really is. I'm gonna say that too. I really want to appreciate. I mean, all the customers we have worldwide, but nationwide. I mean, when that news broke, I think I had one or two phone calls that the guys, they were telling us what pond scum we were and how we killed the ducks and what shit people we are and all this kind of stuff.
Lovely.
But the onslaught of positive, holy shit, the messages, not even so much having to buy a shirt. It was just, the increase in sales. We had people stopping in, walking in the front door saying, I've never been here before. I don't know what you do, but I want to support you. I seen you on the news. The messages and the emails and shit that people sent, it was a boom. It was a little boom. It was good. And it gives you that positive behind you that, we're not alone. There's definitely a lot of support out there. And I want to thank everybody for that. I know my brother would say the same, his wife, the whole family, everybody feels it and appreciates it.
Good.
So it's been really good in that sense. But the government, though, they didn't seem to think so. We've killed millions in their eyes.
Yep. Millions. From children to baby seals to spotted owls to you murderer, you.
I don't know how we're all here. I mean, shit, if we reverted back to 1970s emissions, fucking nobody should be around to have kids.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo.
I still go back to the whole thing of why is the U.S. the only ones that have to pay for this? There's companies shipping stuff all overseas and everything that aren't having to deal with the same stuff, but yet we are, in your case, felonies because we're doing this, but yet there's companies that are shipping all over that don't have to abide by the same rules.
Right. It needs to be on a global scale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, you want to talk, politics, talk to the UN. If it's to the UN aspect or whatever else of all these countries over the world, but yet in our country, it is one of those that is, it's a felony to do this. But yet there's U.S. companies that are shipping stuff overseas that don't have the same type of regulations that we do.
Yeah, it's awesome that America is the only country on this planet that has a conscience, apparently.
Yeah.
The Canadians are feeling the heat too. Canada is, I don't know which one's worse, the U.S. or Canada for emissions. The rules are different for what the businesses can do. That's why I think a lot of them are able to sell these products. They think that they're untouchable by being in Canada and shipping to the U.S. But I think that's something I would start looking at with caution.
Justin, you mean to say Justin Trudeau isn't as stupid as he looks?
Well, right.
Yeah, he is.
Exactly. And I think he's...
all right, fine.
No, I am going to say that because I think he's going to allow our EPA to go in and, I mean, we got friends in Canada and they're starting to feel some heat from the U.S. Our government's trying to work with their government to fuck everybody. So it's just something I would think about with a little caution, but on with that, the whole global thing, the U.S. and Canada basically are going to save the planet with clean air. And that is the frustrating part. They, like you say, they want the UN and all this shit going on, like NATO, over Ukraine and all this other bullshit where we're sending everybody's money rather than informing the public on how to not become a criminal.
Right.
Yep.
So that's, I don't know even really where to end that other than the fucking public knowledge of awareness that get it out there, and we got to start somewhere. Unite, because our fucking government is not.
And just for the record, federal government, if you're listening, it's not that much money to rent a few billboards and tell people not to rip their filters apart. Just saying.
Well,
no, you don't fucking shit up.
I don't know how many guys have gotten drunk driving. I have not. And my question then would be: is how many guys got a second drunk driving or a third drunk driving? How were you treated first, second, and third offense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll put something out there. I got one.
Yep.
It was like 7 years ago. I've never talked about it because I was embarrassed as fuck. I'm putting it out there. I did. And I got reduced.
Right.
I did not get DUI. I got reduced charges because I was cognizant of what I did and I was stupid. Yeah, I was stupid.
Everybody, shit happens though. You know, I mean, everybody fucks up every now and then. But so you got it reduced. You got, you know, your second time won't be so easy.
Yeah, well, there's not going to be a second time.
Well, good. But
you didn't get that. You didn't get that second chance.
You didn't get that second time.
Yeah.
Right. And I also never got a warning. You admitted that you fucked up. You also had been warned before not to drink and drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there was no warning on this.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were told get home safe and go straight home.
Yeah.
You know, now it's different.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard so many stories of. I mean, I've heard a story.
I've heard stories of people driving. The cops will drive you home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like really?
I've heard a story that they were drunk driving, and they were over their allotted. This is a fun one, but they were over their allotted miles from their parents, and they got pulled over for drunk driving. They drove home backwards so they could roll the odometer backwards.
Oh my!
To get the miles back.
All right, somebody watched Ferris Bueller one too many times.
This was a long time ago, but still, I don't know. My frustration still comes with the fact that like we are the only country in the world that has to abide by this and stipulations, and there's stuff made here in the United States that is going overseas, wherever you want to call it, north, south, east, west, whatever, that doesn't have to abide by the same rules, doesn't pay the same fees that we pay.
All right, apparently Cody overspoke and the government has cracked down.
They're watching.
We will say that Ron Stone could put that on a t-shirt and make a lot of money.
Justin Trudeau has decided you are done with your argument.
Oh, that is the irony and that's
right.
The liberals have decided you are no longer allowed to make.
You will no longer eat our poutine.
You are done with your story. I fart in your general direction.
I wondered if Monty Python was. I wondered if that's where you're going with that.
Yeah, had to.
Now go away, or I will taunt you a second time. Anyway.
You smell of stinky still nuggets.
Yeah. I forget what he said there, too.
He just put in the chat, I wasn't done with my rant.
Yes, you were. Justin Trudeau decided it.
I should text him. I said the government says otherwise.
Why, you silly English conniggets?
That's right.
Oh, he said he's in the backstage.
Oh, he's backstage. I fart against him.
Oh, you won't let him on?
For fuck's sake! If I've never been like
exit stage right in
my life, that was
you got
it.
a hook.
But
that was the hook.
I do not ever have silly single freaking technical difficulties again.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was talking away, and all of a sudden it says internet connection lost, and everything else is still running.
Yeah, you
so I have no
silly
idea.
piece of shit.
What do you got,
But-
AT&T?
No, like I said, everything else is still running fine. So, but
Yeah, you're running fine. That's
Wade,
workhorse.
Wade, tell us how you make a W9 do frickin' donuts like Ken
Yeah.
Block does.
Right on.
Can we please address this?
I got the keys to the front doors for sale. Give the keys with the business, you know what I mean?
Nice.
I don't know. Big turbos, big injectors, and don't worry about the clutch.
I got people for that.
Sidestep it, right? Just
I love it.
sidestep it.
What was you looking to do? Whip a donut with it?
Yeah, whippy donut.
Well, you showed us how to do it.
Yeah, you gotta just put her in a high gear and get the tires singing, and hopefully you got the power to keep them moving when they get warm, and hope for the best. First time I ever did that, I was over.
Charles, can you find that video, by the way?
Yeah, I can.
I was
Thank you.
over at a truck pull in Wisconsin, and
I thought that was where that. I thought that was in Wisconsin.
yeah, it was out back behind a friend of ours' shop. He's got a beautiful facility, big ass parking lot, and his local 4-H and them sell all the food, and it's a big town event for the weekend. And
Where was it? Give him a shout out.
Edgar, Wisconsin. It's ELM
Okay.
Truck Repair, and his name's Evan, and likes to do his local stuff and support and everything else. And we became friends a long time ago. My brother's more friends with him probably than I am. Ray knew him first, but anyways, we went over there to support his event, and I come off the pulling track, and everybody's up on the hill looking the other direction, and I'm coming down out into the blacktop parking lot, and I'm looking, and I'm like, man, it is wide open down here, and there's nobody in the way. I'm like, shit, nobody can get hurt. So I started to do a burnout, and the owner comes around the corner of the building with his golf cart. So I stopped, and I was like, I don't want to. And I looked at him, I'm like, give the approval. Can I try to, leave a black mark and fuck up your parking lot that's so nice? And he says, he made the motion with his finger to do round and round like a donut style. I'm like, I hadn't done that. Let's try it. So I threw her in a high gear and got him burning, and I turned to the left and hope for the best. I was either going to lay it on its side or go around, and it went around. Well, then it went around so nice. Shit, I did it.
You decided to do it twice.
Yeah. Like, fuck, we'll just keep going. So, yeah, and that was when I learned how that was easy.
Love it.
Sorry for no sound because I still haven't figured that shit out.
Imagine making really, really good diesel noises
Yeah,
through like
it makes
seven or
makes-
8-inch straight pipes in your head.
I feel
It made
I feel like you should
it
try
made
it.
amazing sounds in my headphones, but I don't really understand why the fuck I cannot put that in it. Anyway.
I just want to wait to hear Ryan try
What am I going to try?
to make diesel noises to fit the video. We all know.
No. We can't do that. You can't do that unless it's in slow motion. So neener.
I feel like I should send that so we can appreciate that someday again. That needs to be brought back up, but stay tuned.
Okay.
That was performed on a closed course too. So
Yes, 100% in Mexico,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
In
Mexico.
yes.
Mexico.
Nowhere near Justin Trudeau or cheese curds or spotted cow. Wade, how often do you hook that W9 to a sled?
I don't know, around 8-10 times a summer around state of Michigan. I've traveled. Hell, we go to Joplin, Missouri. I've been down to Texas.
You plan on going down to Lufkin again?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if terms of probation are going to allow me to this fall, but it's probably as soon as we're in the clear of that, then I'll go back down there. That's a great event. The big turnout, a great reason,
Yeah, there's a great cause behind that.
Yeah,
22 a day.
Mission 22.
Yeah.
Yes, Mission 22 is amazing, and get behind that. That's a really, really big deal.
Yep. And them guys travel and come up here and support us at the races up here. They do great things. The owner of that, or Josh that started that, is a veteran.
Josh Burcham is, if you don't know the story behind Josh Burcham, who started what is that charity?
Mission 22.
Mission 22 is about the 22 number comes from the number of veterans who take their own life
every
on a
day,
daily basis, every day, 22. And Josh was one of those guys who was going to do it. And he was in his trailer, right? And on the night he was going to do it, had the gun ready, and a tornado leveled his trailer. And he survived. Came out the backside and looked up and said, God, I get it now. It's not my time. I have something else I'm supposed to be here to do. And so that's where Mission 22 came from. Josh said, I'm gonna beat this, and I'm gonna help my brothers who struggle with the same mental issues that he did. And there's a semi that's behind that, and I was looking for something else, and now you guys got me off into this. So this past weekend I had dinner with, or had brunch with my kids and my mom at a place that's pretty well known out here, the White Horse Inn in Dryden. And on the door, when you go in, there's a Mission 22 sticker on the door. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the guys on the show. That's a thing. That's a real thing. That truck exists and that charity exists. If you've got anything within you, give to these guys who gave to you to make sure that you're free, that you're safe. Because they wrestle with what they confronted in their dedication to duty. They did it because you don't have to. So take care of them. Be involved. That's huge. That's a huge one. Thank you guys for you took me so far off where I was going, and I appreciate that endlessly. I believe in there's multiple ones. 22 kill, 22 for 29, I think. There's several of them, but they all have the same thing at heart. And yes, Sidetrack is behind all of that. Sorry.
100%.
Don't be sorry. I was going to let you go on that as long as you wanted.
Yeah.
Amen.
Got way off there, but yeah, it's important.
My girl Mickey, some of you guys have met her. She's watch her. She's with me in the truck all the time.
She's so awesome, and I'm glad you found her.
Oh, me too, man. I should have found her the first time.
I wasn't gonna go there, but you did. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, very, very good for me, and love her to death. But I question sometimes how she, when I come home, how she has a smile on her face because she's a intake coordinator for a drug rehab facility.
Wow.
and the amount of homeless veterans that they have to go pick up, and these guys that are getting a chance to get some help but don't have insurance or ways to pay. It's blows your mind. Just, and I'm going to call it on a local level, the state of Michigan's all that they do that she deals with. It's very sad, the amount of veterans, well, the amount of drugs that are around, that the people that need help, to think that her and quite a few other girls have full-time jobs arranging this shit. But it always upsets me when it's a homeless vet and they don't have a ride. They don't have a way to get here. It's cold out. They're standing at a payphone waiting to get a call on when a ride's going to pick them up. It's a bunch of horse shit. I sit and watch TV, and you watch that Tunnel of Towers. It's a great organization, but it pisses me off that they have to sit there and ask every one of us for $11 a month to help do what I think our fucking government should be doing.
100%.
Instead, they're all fucking worried about guys knocking out exhaust filters.
Or wars being fought overseas.
Yeah. Right. Other people's borders.
Yeah.
And
Tunnel of Towers, is that what it was?
Yeah.
It's hidden in the agendas. I have a soft spot for law enforcement and public safety because I work a lot, very closely with them, and hearing some of the stories of what they go through and what they do and the lives that they touch is it'll humble you in a very, very. It'll humble you. That's all I can say, because it is such a. I can't do their job. I don't want their job, because what they do in every single day of it can change your mentality of everything. If you talk to someone who is in it every day and deals with that, I couldn't do their job, and I don't want it. And that's something that if you can support them in any way possible, that's something I ask that each and every one of you do.
Sorry, I'm throwing up in the chat a bunch of groups that I know that are involved in all this. So keep going, keep talking. I'm just nerding out, and
I feel like there's a lot
we can do.
over the last few years. I don't know if I've touched base on most everything. We'll probably get done with this, and I'm gonna think, shit, I wish I'd have said that, or wish I'd have told them about that, or oh yeah, I forgot. But I don't know if there's more that people want to know, or if you got questions, fire them at me. I just want to help with this avenue of public awareness on what's going on outside of helping veterans in our country in other ways. That's what I feel bad. Like you brought up early, Charles, with that guy out on the West Coast. I know of another one here in Michigan that veteran that is losing everything because of the Clean Air Act.
Yeah, I forgive me, I don't know the gentleman's story. He's from California, and you can find this story on a lot of podcasts. He's been on them. He's a 20-year veteran of our services and ran a diesel shop on the side, and he got swept up in this, what we're talking about. And for him, he's being charged as a felon. He's a man who has given 20 years of his life of dedication to his country and defense of his country. He can no longer own a firearm. He can no longer vote. He can no longer avail himself of VA services. After 20 years as a fucking veteran, he can't get health care. He can't be taken care of as a veteran because He ran a side business deleting trucks before anybody knew what the fuck that was or that it was illegal to do it. This is the country we live in. That a guy like that now has that hanging over his head. That's how fucked up it is. It's not enough that Wade is dealing with shit like this. A guy like that has been caught up in this shit. And y'all vote for this.
No, not y'all. We all vote for this. We're not exempt. We all voted too. But yeah, it's terrible.
It's a real problem. It has real effects. It has real consequences for us as a sport. As much as I want to say Sidetracked is not political, and I don't want it to be, I genuinely don't want it to be. I don't want to go there. But there's a real consequence for how you vote and for what you think as far as substantiating what we do and the fun that we get to have. And for the reality of what the product is on the ground. We do have something to offer that is better than what the federal government insists is the ultimatum, because they don't fucking know. They don't. And on top of that, it's about fun. Do you want to just be a lemming who jumps off the bridge? It's about fun. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to have a good time. And what we do as a motorsport is such an inconsequential piece on balance of emissions versus the real world. And they won't even let us do that anymore. That's where we're going. This is really important that you focus on this, that you get involved, that you spend the money. $50. What is that? What it is to be a member? To be a member of PRI.
It's like 40 or 50.
SEMA, and to have your voice heard and to encourage the PAC. Oh, everybody's in the PAC, Political Action Committee. Yeah, well, this is one that fucking matters. This is one that's about what we do. It's not about what fucking bush you get to raise in your backyard or whatever fence you get to put up or all the stupid shit. And, well, it matters to some people, but to us, this is the thing that does matter.
Yes, this is what matters to us.
This is the one place where I go, this is something where politics and motorsports do intersect. It does matter. Pay attention.
Well, and that's what I said earlier. You don't have to be into politics, but they're getting into you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it should all be political, but you know, I gotten more into politics the last few years than I ever thought I would be. Trump's my boy, but I got to think also he pulled funding from the EPA when he was in office, and that kind of perspective, you got to look at it. Did that and make them have to go out and find their money?
Yeah, they had to go find revenue by charging guys like you.
Yeah, find the shops. And it's not just diesel shops. There's other stories out there the EPA is doing. I ran into a guy this last winter. He owns a scrap salvage business, and he specializes in torching inch-thick metal or thicker. And he got a fine because of the pollutants coming off the torches that he's cutting the metal.
Oh, for the love!
I'm dead serious. He's fighting, facing $1 million fine right now. He has to. They're looking.
How much?
$1 million fine. He's looking. He's got it beat down to $1 million.
Grief!
That's astonishing.
What'll blow your mind?
60% of it is oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got to build a reclaim building, a reclamation room. He's got to basically he's got to put up a building that he can fucking torch material inside of, and then clean the air before it exits the building.
Good Lord.
And all of it, it will extract another fee.
Right, it's just money.
It's just money. It's just money. This is the bullshit you're up against.
You know, so it's all this, I don't know, awareness, but
That's backwards priorities. That's exactly what it is.
That's the big thing. There was no warning, so it's us helping each other as well, and that's what I'm trying to get out there is if you're in the business of deleting and making that cash, making that money, because it's like selling drugs, ride the storm as long as you can, because there's no warning. One day you're going to be shocked. They're going to kick your door in and say, well, here we are, and you're now a felon. So decide what you want to do. I'd rather work with guys, make it so that they're not felons. And that's why I'm still trying to be helpful.
Yep, I appreciate that so much, and that was our initial conversation, was to say, all right, it happened, like it happened. Let's be truthful about what happened, but what are we going to do going forward? And that's where we are tonight.
Yep, and we're not the first one it's happened to.
No, we're not. No, you're not. They're not, and we're not.
And it's still shocking though how many people though are calling us or getting a hold of us and going, I had no idea. What do you mean you had no idea? There's been several other cases.
Yeah.
But they are now enforcing criminal. It's not just civil anymore. It's not just a fine.
So that's something actually that I think we glossed over earlier, and I meant to come back to it, was that the initial enforcement was on the civil level. It was fines, it was dollar amount, and now it is criminal. And so we did talk about what it meant for you, that you know your Second Amendment rights are stripped,
and how they determine
you can't vote anymore. You know, there's some serious. Okay, so the dollar amount of the personal part of it was small versus what the business faced, which is large. There's a very, very significant consequence to you, and all because you made a semi run better.
But just something to think about real quick. I want to explain why 750,000. What they had us agree to or plea deal with was 362 violations, meaning they could prove that we played with 362 trucks. Okay. They assumed we made about $1,000 per vehicle. They want your fine is going to be double of what your gain was. That's where they come up with 750,000.
Wow.
So whatever you're doing and how much you've done, and you think that maybe they can prove, that's what you could be facing as a fine. Just things to think about. That's how they came up with that number. Because I was like, how the hell are you coming up? You're just throwing a number out of the air for 750? How are you coming up with this? And that's how they came up with it. And at the end of the day, I mean, 362 they could prove. Okay. We'll just leave it at that. Good.
So frustrating.
Just wanting to get more information out of how people are like, well, how did they come up with that number?
Yep.
Well, that's how they did it. And personally, I don't know why I think they did pull the number out of their air for the personal fine. But like I say, back to the whole scorecard deal and how you've been as a citizen and all these things come into play. That was, I don't want to say easy to beat down, but your history of who you are help make it easy to beat down on a monetary charge, but the felony, there was no changing it.
Seems arbitrary and stupid.
Yep.
But it is what it is. And do you have the ability to appeal? Is that on the table?
No, because I took guilty plea.
Okay.
I could only appeal it if I felt that I wasn't misrepresented. But
yeah.
I'm telling you, my attorney kicked ass. He was awesome. And the worst part of it was before we got in charge. I mean, right in 2018, after we got raided, we called a few people. There's a few attorneys out there that are kind of common in this business. And when we talked with them, they were like, well, we'd love to help you, but until you've been charged, we can't do anything. We're criminal attorneys. We're defense attorneys. It's like, well, shit, who do you even turn to for guidance? I mean, there's no help. There's nothing out there. And you wait till you get charged and then you call them. Well, this guy that we talked with, he used to be a U.S. prosecutor, and he had some advice and some things to talk about. And then we got our charge. We called him back, and he was already quite ahead of the game. But at the end of the day,
yeah, where do you go? I mean, like, if that's the hat they're gonna hang upon, there's little case history,
right?
Certainly there is, but it's in the grand scheme of judgmental law, like there's very little case history about this stuff, even though it's super important to us, and we say, oh, you got this, you got this, you got that, you got that. Well, in the grand scheme of things, what we can throw up there is peanuts, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, once you've been investigated, or once they've came to you and said hand you a charge, I mean, just you're fucked right out the storm. There's no fighting it. So
what advice do you offer? You're now past that point. What would you tell a prospective shop? What are you going to say? What should you do? What should you not do? What is your business line going forward? What are you not engaged with?
Man, I mean, if the big thing is, I mean, if you're still doing that kind of work, I would just stop. I mean,
and document that you stopped.
Yeah. I don't know what. Right. That's a good question. Because then if you document that you stopped, did you just guilt yourself?
Yeah, you admitted guilt.
Right. And I don't care if you get paid cash. I don't care how well you know the person. Sooner or later, your red flag's up. Somebody's going to rat you out. I do know of a guy that told me that a truck driver that got pulled over going through a DOT inspection, and the driver just started talking, saying shit that he probably shouldn't have been saying. And that particular shop got investigated because of that driver running his mouth.
Wow.
So I don't care how well you know somebody. Can you trust them? But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to have trust, but also along with these jobs is guys like to brag about it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I got mine done by blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I just did mine last week over here. This guy ordered this. I mean, you get on social media and it just blows my mind. I'm sitting back going, holy fuck, it's like shooting fish in a barrel if I was an EPA agent.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's not an indictment of you guys sharing or saying it. It should be an indictment of you guys who are still doing it, because you got to understand what the consequence is.
Right.
And where we are.
Right.
Is there a way to tune a diesel vehicle, to do what we want it to do and perform the way we want it to perform, and have it be 50 state legal? Yes. And there's people who have been charged with this. We're figuring that out. And Wade, you may be right behind them to do that as well for yourself.
Oh, and we've been working with another company. They went through a big deal, and they paid a big ass fine, and they've got EO numbers and carb numbers, and there's legal ways to do it and legal product to sell. And
yeah, we can still make it work. It's just
right.
it's a new world. It's a new what do I want to say? It's a new world, but it's a new honesty about what we can do and the guardrails within which we can do them. And yeah, the old ways were what they were, and for the longest time they weren't deemed criminal. And unfortunately, we live in a world where it was deemed criminal, perhaps without warning, and caught too many out. I don't know. Is that painting it with too generous a brush?
That's fair.
But that's where we're at right now. But that doesn't mean that we still can't learn, because the same intellect, the same understanding, the same brilliance that led to all of that before is still at work. We can still figure out how to make a machine perform emissions on and do the right things. And the hardcore amongst the far fringe will go, well, why didn't you do that before? Because we didn't have to, motherfucker. But now we do. We understand where the guardrails are. We understand what the rules are. And we still can beat what the OEMs can do. Never doubt what the OEM is capable of. We can always improve upon what they're doing and exceed their regulations, exceed what they have to do, exceed their mileages, exceed their horsepower. We can do that because we're enthusiasts and we give a shit, and we're all about, in the end result, performance. And that doesn't always mean ultimate horsepower. It means performance in terms of reliability. Performance also can be defined as efficiency. There's lots of ways you can define the word performance. And we've always been doing that. And we just need those in Washington to understand that our definition of performance is not just roll call stupid motherfuckers in a Walmart parking lot. Our definition of performance can mean efficiency. And that is where I want us to go as an industry. And we were already going there. Just got to get through their thick fucking skulls. But I'm not sure that we can, because there's revenue to be made for violation, however they decide it.
Yep. And because old habits die hard. I mean, it's just like there's lots of people who I probably already indicted us by saying we all perceive black smoke means we're making power. Not necessarily the case. I mean,
we learned that,
and I'll throw myself under the bus here. As much as we all love to hate on Gale Banks, what he's always said is that you can tune a diesel to make power and you can tune a diesel to perform without blowing smoke. And people have challenged him on it, because he thinks that sled pulling and tractor pulling, he thinks it's the dumbest damn thing on earth. Maybe he's right. I don't know. Who knows? We have fun with it. So I'm going to say he's wrong. But he says that you can make power and you can make performance and you can win blowing clean. We've seen it in the drag strip world.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I'm not
you
going to
know,
let. Yeah. There's a
those guys-
reason why.
Ryan Milliken makes ripping passes. He probably, I don't know if he made one tonight at World Series of Pro Mod, but, you know, Maddie's going to make a pass this weekend.
Did today.
It's not
today.
going to be rolling smoke all the way down the track.
Yeah, there's a reason why they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
There's two reasons why they don't.
Yep.
Well, the problem is we took the racing to the road, and the word on the street was you must delete. You know, when you have a diesel, that was just the easy way years ago to make power, and years ago to be cool.
Yeah.
And the being cool, being too cool in the wrong place is what started the whole awareness. And that's where it's led to now is for on road. You can't keep pushing the off-road aspect for on road. But the other thing is I don't want to ruin our racing future. So that's where we got to have the awareness.
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece really for you guys and for some that I have seen who have faced this in the sport is I want to preserve for you the racing piece. Okay, you did what you did. You've been faced with. That's done now. For better or for worse, it's done now.
Yep.
I still want to see you being able to participate on the racing side. And there's been others who have been confronted with this and have paid their dues, and they still can. I think of one guy who can't, but the rest can. And that's what I want for you is to still be able to do the fun shit.
We do too.
Do the fun shit.
Yep.
Well,
I was going to say, are we about to the point where we're beating a dead horse here, or what?
Yeah, I think we've kept you way beyond what I intended to. If you've got any final thoughts, Wade, by all means, share them. And then beyond that,
I think I've laid it out there pretty good. Like I say, if anybody else out there listening has any questions, shoot me an email or whatever. Facebook, I answer when I can. I don't know.
What's your email again? Throw it up there.
Wade at dieselfreak.com.
There you go.
And if you want to follow up show with Wade, you know, we kind of already talked about that privately before tonight's program. If we need to do that, we'll do it. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if there's more specifics guys want to know about certain times of a case or what might have happened or that we didn't talk about.
Sure. Yep.
And I don't know how big a interest this is. If people are sitting here glued listening, or if they're like, "This is bullshit." I don't know, but
we'll find out.
We're interested in moving forward. The people that want to sit and say this is bullshit, I'm deleting my truck. Fuck them. You know what? Then you're not helping the cause. So, in my opinion, I'm at the point where I've had to switch gears, and unfortunately, everybody else has to as well.
Mm-hmm.
So. And if you're in that position where you're looking for a solution for better performance for your truck, like we can find a way to make that happen and make it happen where you aren't in trouble, he's not in trouble, you both find a solution, and maybe that's the better thing.
Yep. And that's available. That's able. It's a little bit harder, but I think as we get further with public knowledge, the better and easier it'll get.
Yep. That's what I'm all about. Finding win-wins. It's already been difficult. How do we make Diesel Freak a success going forward and still find solutions for guys looking for it?
Yep.
100%.
Is now let's just put a funny point on this, and then we can maybe end this. But seriously, is there any performance solution to a 6'5"? Cortland, I know you're going to throat punch me next time you see me. I don't care.
He's probably got the ultimate one.
Yeah, between he and Brian Banghart, yes. But for real.
The ultimate 12 valve, well, just call Dan Scheid, and for the ultimate 7.3, it's fucking there's a couple pieces.
Have you guys seen,
Jesse Warren.
have you guys seen my Black Tie Affair 2, the old square body 3.0 pulling truck? That's a 6.
Yeah, I've seen
I
it.
think I've shot that truck.
I've seen
Did I
it.
shoot that truck down in Georgia?
No.
Is it going down to Diesels and Dark Corners or no?
Nope, I've never made it down there.
I've seen the bitch naked. I know what it looks like in every respect.
Well, now we've entered After Dark.
Yeah, let me find that. I'll show you the After Dark roller skate version of it.
If anybody really wants it worse than I do, I'd probably let it go.
Oh boy.
I've been having those thoughts lately. I need to get Foolish Pleasures working out pretty good so far, but we got to go bigger and better with a dedicated semi. And unfortunately, honestly, the reason why I would probably get out of the pickup pulling world is because the geographic location I live in just doesn't support it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a long ride to get down to a show, aren't
you? Yep. No matter where I want to go, it's at least 3 hours one way to a pull. On a Tuesday night to go help out a county fair that I'm going to win $300 tops. And it's like, it's not always about the money, but shit, I can't even cover my fuel or my time.
Yeah, there's no way to make that pencil. And not even come close to penciling.
It's a 10-hour day from hell. You already worked all day, and then you add another 10 hours to it, and it all adds up. It's time to move forward maybe and get more of a dedicated semi truck. Anyways, what I'm thinking, but that's a whole nother show.
Is that a 2.6 or 3.0 truck?
That's a 3.0 truck.
3.0. I'm not gonna find it in timely. I know I've got it, but I'm not gonna find it timely.
Adam Wilson's got videos of it. I'm sure he does.
Well, he's got video of it, but he's not gonna show it the way that I could.
But if you're looking for a truck and you love square bodies,
yeah.
Wade at dieselfreak.com. Just saying.
Yep.
And it's a 3.0.
And he might throw in a t-shirt. Maybe.
In fat guy sizes.
No, I'm not buying the truck, Cody.
It'll fit in the garage, don't worry.
Shut up.
You might have to move the smokers to the back patio, but it'll be fine.
No.
Carol wants a truck. What are you talking about?
You shut your dirty mouth. No, she wants a lowrider and she wants pretty paint. I don't want any of those things. Actually, I wouldn't mind the lowrider, but I don't want pretty paint. I want to be able to drive it and have fun with it and beat on it, and yeah.
Other than lowrider, I think all the other things are applicable in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Oh, Burkhart's got his porn book out.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eli's piling on. So now it's no, I won't say what it is now, but now it's a threesome. Yeah. But if you're looking for a truck and you love square bodies, you could do a lot worse than that one.
Yeah.
Yep. We could talk.
Charles is still searching in vain for.
It's pissing me off. I know I've got great pictures of it. Just driving.
Make a post on our timeline.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Wade, any last words before we cut it off and stick a fork in this one?
No, I think I'm done. I appreciate the time and the efforts, and if you ever need anything from me, just give a shout.
So Wade did that wrong. What he was supposed to say is buy my damn T-shirts.
Yes.
or a Roxer or
a
Tool
Roxer
Cats.
or
Tool Cats.
all of the things.
Yep.
Well, never been a beggar.
That's okay. We
We'll
ain't
do
too
it
proud
for
to
you.
beg.
We'll do it for you. It's okay.
Aha.
Oh damn! Now we got it. Make it happen, Charles.
It only took 4 or 5 years to build that thing. I can only.
That's how long it took me to find the fucking thing in my folder.
And if you do decide to go forward with George Washington and a deaf jug, seriously, please give that some thought. There would be so many people who would buy that.
Right.
Let's pull the roller skate.
Yep.
Yeah, that was early on.
That looks rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, that's in Tony's back room.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's where I shot it. And so there really is not a DHD logo right there. That's my limited shitty Photoshop skills.
I know Tony's listening. That didn't sit there near as long as fucking Triple X did.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
Damn, shots fired.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
That ain't fair. He can't holler back at me right now.
Triple X is still not done.
Oh no, all is fair in Love and War, and I guess, and in Black Smoke.
In podcast, yeah.
I got pictures of that one we can massage out later too. So
I probably do too. It really covered like in a lot of dust.
Yep. I think that's about a wrap. Tony
has admitted defeat. Look, check this out.
He's oh shit.
All right, boys, should we call this one?
Yeah, let's call this one before I go looking for deep Triple X dusty photos.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Please, seriously, if you're not members of PRI, please, for the love of God, if there's only one thing you take from tonight's show, go to the PRI website and pay the damn money.
Yes,
it's not
please.
an awful lot of money.
No.
And they have people who work hard to lobby for us and the things that we love and the things that we hold near and dear.
Phone calls and emails are free too. Fire them away.
Bingo.
Yep.
So, all right, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You bet.
Thank
Wade,
you,
stay on after we end this. We want to chat with you for a second afterwards, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We
See
are-
you guys 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Good night.